Good Thursday evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHOU 11 Weather Center. It is 8 o'clock, time for our 8 o'clock tropical update. Melissa, still a hurricane, a Category 2 hurricane, after making landfall in Jamaica and Cuba and across the Bahamas the last 48 hours, is now moving into the open Atlantic, but it is going to graze by Bermuda tonight. Looks like it's going to miss, but it's going to not miss by much. They're still going to have a rough, windy night in Bermuda, but a Cat 2 grazing by Bermuda should be able to handle that. But again, they're battening down the hatches near Bermuda tonight as the storm races by. Melissa is the only storm or spot in the tropics that we're watching. We're starting November tomorrow. Hurricane season officially lasts until the end of November, but quite often you get to this time in the game and the storms really begin to become few and far between. So after Melissa, at the moment, nothing new expected to develop in the tropics for the next several days. Let's get a closer look at the storm again. Winds of 105 miles an hour sustained, making it a Cat 2. And you can see that the storm no longer has an eye. It's being ripped apart even as we speak. What's happening is the center is actually right here. It's exposed, and the upper level winds that it's caught up in are ripping it apart and racing the circulation off to the northeast very quickly. Closer view, and you can see what I've done here is I put in, that's the circulation. There's the center of the storm. It's exposed. The strongest winds are just out to the north and east of that center. But as the whole thing moves by, you can see that the strong winds are going to graze by Bermuda and St. George here over the next couple of hours. So it's going to be a very quick hit as the storm goes through. And I thought you might like to see this. So let's take off the satellite imagery, and here's just the wind circulation. And so there, right here is the center of Melissa. It is going to race by St. George here over the next couple of hours, but this is where you got some of the strongest winds. Winds are gusting to 80, 90, 100 miles an hour here, and they are going to cross across St. George and Bermuda here over the next hour or two. So it is going to be a bit of a blow for the next few hours across Bermuda. Here is the forecast track from the Hurricane Center. And once again, winds sustained at 105, gusting to 125, moving northeast at 32. So it's really starting to race and accelerate off to the northeast as it's caught up now in the upper level winds that are protecting it from hitting the U.S., but racing it off to the north and east. Pressure at 970 millibars. So there's the storm right now. Again, the center is exposed from all of the deep convection, and it races northeast and passes by the center here by Bermuda here as we get through the next couple of hours. But again, even on that distance away, they're going to be grazed by some of the strong winds on the east side of that circulation, or the dirty side of that circulation. So past Bermuda, just passing it by Friday 1 a.m., early tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, the storm is here off the coast of Nova Scotia, racing northeast, and that track will continue as it moves into the cooler waters of the North Atlantic. 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, and losing its tropical characteristics as we get into the coming weekend. But I thought this was interesting to look at. This circulation keeps going and will eventually bring wind and rain to Iceland as we head into early next week. Melissa has been quite a storm. Cat 5, one of 4 majors this year. The other ones being Umberto, Gabrielle, and Aaron. All of those missed major populations, missed land. Melissa did not. Melissa is going to go down as the tied for the strongest hurricane that we know of to ever make landfall in the Atlantic Basin, tied with the 1935 Labor Day hurricane that hit the upper Florida Keys. So it was as bad as it has ever gotten in Jamaica, and they're facing a tremendous amount of rebuilding there. Again, here are the record landfalling hurricane strengths. Dean, number 5, Camille, number 4, Gilbert, number 3, Labor Day hurricane in 1935 that hit the Keys, number 2. And actually it's 1 and 2 because, again, these two are tied for number 1. Melissa and the Labor Day hurricane both had the same minimal central pressure, both the same winds, 185-mile-an-hour sustained winds at landfall. Labor Day hurricane in Florida, Melissa in Jamaica. So Melissa, we won't see Melissa again. That name will be retired, along with Gilbert, Camille, and Dean. Those are all retired names. And as we look back at the stats, they were looking at 16 named storms, so we're at 13, 14 named storms, so we're right in at a normal season. They were looking at 8 hurricanes what have we had? We didn't make 8 hurricanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 hurricanes. So far, it looks like if the season ended now, we would be below the hurricane forecast of 8 with 5, but they forecasted 3 majors, and we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 major hurricanes to date, so that would put us actually ahead for the number of major hurricanes. So the forecast is, when you think about trying to forecast a hurricane season, the folks at Colorado State University, this forecast has ended up being one of the best I think I've ever seen as far as getting the actual number correct. Of course, it's impossible to know where they're going to form and where they're going to go. That's why forecasts are interesting. It's good that they can get the number correct sometimes, but we have to take it one day at a time. That's where we stand in the tropics this evening. Tomorrow's Halloween. Our next live broadcast on KHOU 11 News at 10. We've got the Halloween forecast, which really looks beautiful, but we also have a weather impact alert for Saturday with a chance for a strong thunderstorm. We'll go over the timing on that when we see you again on KHOU 11 News at 10.